What if I told you? You don't need to earn millions. You don't need to be a finance expert. And you don't need to suffer to become financially stable? Sounds strange, right? Because most of us were taught something very different. That money is complicated. That you must sacrifice everything. That only rich people understand how it works. But what if that's not true? What if building wealth is actually about simple systems, simple habits, and small decisions repeated over time? That's exactly what the book I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi is trying to show you. And honestly, this book feels less like a lecture and more like someone sitting down with you, saying, "Relax. I'll show you how this really works." Most people think managing money means tracking every coin, cutting every small expense, constantly worrying about what they spend. It feels stressful. And honestly, that's why many people avoid it completely. But this book takes a different approach. Instead of focusing on small daily decisions, it tells you to focus on systems. Simple systems that run in the background, even when you're not thinking about money. Because here's the truth. Willpower doesn't last forever. Some days you're disciplined. Some days you're tired. Some days you just don't care. And that's normal. But a system? A system works every single time. Even on your worst days. Picture this. You get paid. For a moment. You feel in control. You tell yourself, "This time I'll save." But then life happens. Food. Transport. Small purchases. Maybe something unexpected. And slowly, the money disappears. Not in one big moment, but in many small ones. Until you're left wondering, where did it all go? Now imagine something different. The moment your salary comes in, a portion is automatically moved to savings, to investments. You don't touch it. You don't even see it. What remains is what you can spend freely. No stress. No guilt. No overthinking. That's the power of a system. One of the most refreshing ideas in I Will Teach You to Be Rich is this. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need the perfect plan. You don't need the perfect timing. You just need to get it mostly right. About 85% right. Because here's what happens to most people. They wait. They overthink. They research too much. They delay taking action. All because they want everything to be perfect. But perfection often leads to doing nothing. And in money, doing nothing is expensive. Because time keeps moving. And time is one of the most powerful tools you have. Now here's where this book feels different. It doesn't tell you to stop enjoying life. It doesn't say, cut everything fun. Instead, it says something smarter. Spend generously on what you truly love. And cut back on what you don't. For example, if you love traveling, enjoy it. If you love good food, spend on it. But maybe you don't care about expensive clothes. That's where you save. This way, your money actually reflects your life, not someone else's expectations. If there's one idea to take from this part, it's this. You don't need more discipline. You need a better system. Because systems remove stress. They remove guesswork. They make good decisions automatic. And over time, those small automatic decisions can completely change your financial life. Now, let's continue. Take a second and think about this. Have you ever stressed over something small like a cup of coffee, a snack, a small purchase, while ignoring bigger financial decisions? It happens more than we like to admit. And that's exactly what this part of the book challenges. One of the most powerful ideas here is simple. Stop focusing on tiny expenses. Start focusing on big wins. Because not all financial decisions are equal. Some decisions change everything. Others barely matter. But most people do the opposite. They stress over small things and ignore the big ones. The book highlights a few areas that can completely change your financial life. And once you get these right, everything else becomes easier. Things like automating your savings and investments, negotiating your salary, reducing major recurring expenses, investing consistently over time. These are not daily decisions, but they have a massive impact. Imagine this. You spend weeks trying to save money by skipping coffee. Let's say you save a small amount each month. Now compare that to this. You negotiate your salary once and increase your income significantly. Or you reduce a major bill. Or you invest consistently for years. The difference? One decision affects your life for a short time. The other affects your life for years. That's the power of focusing on the right things. Think about someone who says, "I can't afford to save." But they've never asked for a raise, reviewed their bank fees, set up automatic savings, looked into investing. It's not that they don't care. It's just that no one showed them where to focus. So they end up putting energy into the wrong places and feeling stuck. Here's the honest truth. Big decisions feel uncomfortable. Negotiating feels scary. Investing feels confusing. Setting up systems feels like effort. So people avoid them. And instead, they focus on small, easy decisions. Because those feel safe. But safe doesn't always mean effective. Instead of asking, "How can I save small amounts every day?" Start asking, "What are the few decisions that can change my financial life?" That one question can completely change your direction. You don't need to control everything. You just need to control what matters most. Because when you get the big things right, the small things stop feeling so stressful. Now this part is where things start to feel real. Because it answers a question many people don't say out loud. Can I enjoy my money and still be responsible? And the answer is yes. One of the most powerful ideas in this book is simple. Spend generously on what you love. Cut back on what you don't. Not everything deserves your money. And not everything deserves your sacrifice. Think about your own life for a second. There are things you genuinely enjoy. Maybe it's good food, travel, buying books, upgrading your space. Those things feel worth it. They make life better. Now think about the things you don't really care about. Subscriptions you don't use. Random purchases. Things you bought just because others had them. That's where your money quietly disappears. Not because you needed those things, but because you didn't notice them. Most people try to cut everything. They say, "I need to save more, so I'll stop spending." But that approach doesn't last. It feels restrictive. It feels forced. And eventually, they go back to old habits. This book offers a better way. Instead of cutting everything, be intentional. Spend on what matters. Ignore what doesn't. Now saving doesn't feel painful. It feels natural. Let's be real for a moment. You could spend your time tracking every small purchase, feeling guilty about every coin. Or you could set up a system and actually enjoy your life. Because money is not just about survival. It's also about experience. This idea works best when combined with systems. Because once your savings and investments are handled automatically, you don't have to second guess your spending. You already know. Your future is taken care of. So whatever is left, you can use it freely. Without guilt. Without stress. Think of it like this. Your money is working quietly in the background. Investing, growing, building your future. While you're just enjoying a good meal. Or planning your next trip. Not a bad deal, right? Life is too short to be miserable about money. The goal is not just to have money. The goal is to use money to build a life you actually enjoy. Let's bring everything together from I will teach you to be rich. Take a moment and think about everything we've talked about. Simple systems. Big decisions. Spending with intention. It all points to one thing. Money doesn't have to control your life. You can design it. So it works for you. Most people struggle with money not because they are incapable, but because they are overwhelmed. Too many rules. Too much pressure. Too many opinions. So they do nothing. Or they try and give up halfway. But this book shows a different path. A simpler one. Build a system. Focus on what matters. Take action early. And let time do the rest. Here are the most important lessons to carry with you. Automate your money, remove stress and guesswork. Focus on big wins, salary, investing, and major expenses matter most. Start before you feel ready, action beats perfection. Spend on what you love, enjoy your life without guilt. Cut what doesn't matter, stop wasting money unconsciously. Consistency beats intensity, small actions repeated over time create results. Imagine two people again. One keeps waiting. Waiting to understand everything. Waiting for the perfect plan. Waiting for the right time. The other starts small. Sets up a simple system. Makes a few smart decisions. And stays consistent. Years later, their lives look completely different. Not because one was smarter, but because one started. This book is not just about money. It's about taking control. It's about building a life where money supports you, instead of stressing you. And the best part? You don't need to change everything overnight. You just need to start. And let your system grow with you. And that brings us to the end of this review of I Will Teach You to Be Rich. If this video helped you see money differently, like the video. Comment your favorite idea or what you'll start changing. Share it with someone who needs this message. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful book reviews and life-changing ideas. Because sometimes, one simple idea, one small system, can completely change your future.